The snow is still coming down. Drivers can expect some slick conditions all around Denver.
Yeah, northern Colorado seeing a little bit more up there as we speak. So let's go to Luis De Leones along I-25 where the action is. Sadly, if you're driving, where the action is not where you want to be, Luis.
Certainly, Tom and Kim, but drivers do seem for the most part to be taking it a bit slower than usual. We really haven't seen too many reports of any sort of big crashes or backups on this part of I-25. I have seen CDOT report a couple crashes and some lanes closing and reopening rather quickly throughout, really spread across the entire I-25 corridor. The snow for the most part really held off until around, I'd say around 3 o'clock this afternoon, which around that time as well, we caught up with the assistant state climatologist for the Colorado Climate Center over at CSU. And she says places like Loveland and Fort Collins so far have seen below average snowfall totals this season. But as it, of course, all it takes is one big snowfall event to drive those averages back up. And while she does call this snowfall event pretty typical, one of the differences, she says, is how cold this storm is, which typically impacts how heavy the snow actually is.
This has been more typical than some of our recent snow events that we had in late December and early January, where we had some really heavy wet snows, and those were interesting because they were more consistent with a March storm where you're getting a little bit warmer temperatures because you're getting closer to spring. You get a lot more water content in those heavy wet snows, and that was pretty different for that time of year.
She adds that another difference this year is just how long the snow has stuck around, something that we of course saw a lot in Denver with that ice forming on those side streets and everything. She also, though, brought up the topic of the future potential droughts and how the snowfall impacts that. Specifically, she says the higher elevations, that's the important part for sort of determining some of the drought that we see around the state. She says for the most part the snowpack is doing quite well out in the mountains. One area of concern is in the southeastern part of the state, specifically the mountains that feed the Arkansas basin. They could use some more precipitation. But as for our area, Tom and Kim, do not do what I am doing. Stay inside and drive slow on the roads.
But you got a nice shady spot in case it
that's
gets hot
even better
out.
in case,
Get under that tree and
I guess shade, if you want to call it that, sure.
Nice and cool. All right, Luis, thanks.